All right, guys, welcome to the day 23 of this program. After this, we'll have two more classes, so we'll end up at a good 25 number. But this is the final points that I want to cover about communication skills. If you didn't come to the day before yesterday's class, take a look. It covered a lot of points on what are the things that we actually need to communicate well. It's not about your tone, it's not about your language, vocabulary, grammar. It's not just outside how you are presenting, but more importantly, inside what you're thinking, how you are speaking to yourself, how you have a way of looking at things. That is the core. Outside is just how you're expressing it. Okay. So, all right, today's topic is about communicating ideas, and ideas doesn't mean like a idea where it's just a idea that you present to your project members, an idea you present to your professional careers, like your managers. It's not an idea which you propose to only professional, or which you propose in only professional areas. It's about how you discuss. Let's say you have got an idea about something, how you put it across. You want to do something, how you put it across. Okay, so it's actually very relevant topic, because I've seen different type of people, and some people present their ideas really well, and some people do not present it as well as they could. So let's see what are the points which can help them in the long run. Okay. Again, we'll have the agenda is pretty simple. Today we have today's question is actually a question. It's not a question that you will have to answer. You'll have to ask. Then there's a communication. What is the basic of it, and what is the vocabulary? How do you use the vocabulary? We go one step further, and then we see the power of praise, and then we see what are the different style of conviction, how people try to convince other people, and then finally we'll wind up with what is the core of communication. Okay, so in 40-45 minutes, if I have to present what are the main aspects, what are the main things that matter, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so question of the day is actually a question. So I want you guys to come up with one question, at least one question, maybe two if you can, but at least one question you ask at the end of the class, which is related to communication. Okay, so you just can ask me. Whatever I cover is a very general way of looking at things. If you have anything specific, I want you to think about it and ask me. Okay, so let's start our class today. And the first thing we're going to talk about is communicating ideas. And as you all know, we constantly are in communication in this world. You take at the relationships, all the different type of family relationships that we have, we are constantly communicating with them, our ideas, our thoughts, our situations, scenarios, everything. Okay, so we have a group of people with whom we are constantly communicating. So one is family, other group is a friends group, where we have a different way of communicating, we have a different style of communicating. Again, still we are communicating our ideas, our emotions, our thoughts to them. And then there's a professional way of communicating, where it's again a very different way of communication. It has very little to do with how you feel, how is your emotional state, what are your problems in life. It's not like that. It's more about what are the work that needs to be done, what are the things that needs to be accomplished, what is the way that we all can grow together and make the company grow. Okay, and above all of this, there's also an internal communication which nobody can see, but we are always talking to ourselves. We are always in conversation with ourselves over how things are, or how our life is moving across. Okay, so number one thing to understand about communication is this: it's not always what you speak. Sometimes you can speak correctly, sometimes you want to say something else, but many times it's actually what I hear, it's actually what I want to hear, or it's actually what I feel you are trying to say. Okay, and this is the main gap which I see happens in a lot of cases, where you want to say something but you say in a certain way and people will take it in a totally different way, right? It happens all the times. One, if it happens with just, let's say, a few people, then you can say that those people may have issue. But if it happens frequently with every other person, or let's say many of your contacts, then you could say somewhere you're not speaking it well. Okay, so many times, as you see, it's not about what you speak, it's about what other people hear. Okay, and remember, communication is not from like what I speak from my mouth and what you hear from your ear. Communications is actually what my mind is telling to you, and on the other side, what your mind is receiving from what I'm telling. Okay, so it's a mind to mind communication. It's not a just it's not a crystal clear world where what I speak is exactly what I mean and it's exactly what you receive. Okay, so always there will be a gap. There's no doubt about it. There'll always be a gap between what you are thinking about certain things and what other people are thinking about it, how they perceive it, how they see it. So this is actually a source of miscommunication. So this is one of the biggest reason why people can say something and they can mean totally different thing, and other people will get it in totally different way. Okay, so our idea is to bridge this gap, to reduce it as much as we can, so that the better we speak, if we think and we speak the same way that we think, at least there is very less gap within us. And then in the front person we can't control it, but at least if we are very much in coherence, like we speak what exactly we want to say, what exactly we think, then the other person also gets it much better. Okay, so while we speak, number one thing that comes is the language. And the language is like we saw yesterday, it has many parts, subparts, right? It has vocabulary, it has grammar, it has words we speak, it has unspoken words via our action. But the important point today I want to expand is this: your expression is the way you see inside. Very, very important point, because how you are expressing things is actually how you are thinking about it, how you are looking at it. It's not just the reality, right? Reality can mean different thing for different people, but the way you speak will clearly communicate what you are thinking. Okay, so in most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, we can say, okay, this person is positive, this person has a very positive outlook about life, this person is positive about his chances of succeeding, the person is positive about what he or she is doing. In a general way we can say, because the way the person thinks about it. Okay, so for example, I gave you already this example about a glass which is half full and half empty. The reality is what it is, both half full and half empty. But either you can just focus on the point that it is half empty, or you can focus on a point that it is half full. Okay, so how you think about it is how you will look at it and how you will go about it. Okay, and this all comes in the language, because this is something that you constantly are speaking with yourself, speaking to yourself. Okay, so one thing that I want to say about language is, when you use language, try not to offend others. Sometimes other people can get offended uh, on their own without any provocation, but most of the time try not to use the words which can offend others. Okay, and we will see what are those words which will offend others, or what are the words which are better to use. Okay, and at after a certain point in life, actually it's very easy to know what you're thinking about from the way you speak. It's very, very easy to know what type of person you are, what type of thoughts you have about me, what type of thoughts you have about yourself, what type of thoughts you have about life. It's very, very easy to figure out. So that's why when people conduct interviews, they want other people to talk more, because when the other person talks more, it's very easy to get what is the thought process they have. It's very easy to understand, okay, what is that, how is that person able to communicate, how is that person thinks about certain things. Okay, so that is the one thing I want to talk about language. And next comes vocabulary, but just give me a moment. I will just get and go and get my charger. Okay, I'm running out of the battery. Just give me a moment. All right. Perfect. I see everybody. So sorry guys, let's continue. So next comes the vocabulary, choice of words. Like I told you, some words are very good to use because they can smoothen the communication that you have. See, it's very hard to get mastery over a language in a short period of time, right? Let's say if let's say you don't have good hold on English. Let's say for some reason you don't have good vocabulary skills. It takes time to build it up. It takes time to improve your thoughts. It takes time to improve your perspective. So meanwhile you don't have to struggle. Meanwhile you don't have to make everything work for your communication skills to be better. Okay, all you can do is start picking up few simple words and express it in those terms, so that your automatically communication skills gets better. People can understand what you're trying to say, you can understand what people are trying to say. Okay, so the choice of words is very important. So first thing that I want to talk about is suggestion. Many times we have seen people while speaking, they are very commanding or very demanding. You should do this, go there, put this, um, now you study, or now you go to school, or now you do something. Very authoritative way of speaking. Many times I have seen even in professional aspects areas also, many people are very authoritative. They try to boss around others. Okay, so that is a very poor way of communicating, because when you are unnecessarily forcing somebody, or when you are unnecessarily telling them to do this, automatically they will not like it. Okay, so better way of communicating is to suggest. Say, why don't you do this, or try doing this, or you can say, give it a shot, try to do this, or you can say it may help you if you do this. So if you use a suggestive language, it is much better than to use a very commanding language at unnecessary areas. Okay, when the time comes, you have to use a authoritative way also, but that is a very minimum time that you have to use. Most of the times you should go for a suggestion. Okay, not for a commanding thing, because people will like you less. They could people will not nobody likes to be commanded and told what to do. If I tell you, hey, you do this, you do this, you do this, in one or two classes you'll say, hey, wait a minute. Even if I am just told what to do, then what am I doing, right? So try to suggest, don't try to command others. And simple ways, example, I just gave a very simple sentence: give me the book. If you say give me the book, and rather than that, if you say please give me the book, you just added a word please. But the front person will not feel that you have commanded them. In the both the case, you want the front person to give the book. But if you say please, it is actually a much better way of saying than saying just give me the book. Okay, this is a very simple example, but in life, in many conversations, what happens is, if you start using just a direct way of saying do this, go there, very slowly you start taking, you start dominating the other person, and slowly there'll be clashes in the relationships. Okay, many people ignore it, but it's not a good strategy to do it. So try to use more better language, like try to say please do this, could you give me that, And you don't have to say all the time, but try to say as much as you can. Okay. Another thing is thank you. So these things I've really learned a lot within my family itself. So that is a great thing to know. So whenever somebody does something to you, we don't say thank you, and we don't appreciate it, because it's not a rule that the person should have done this because you told it, right? So somebody does something for you, just say thank you. In India, we are used to not saying it. We say, hey, wait a minute, thank you बोल रहा है मतलब like बस इतनी सी बात के लिए thank you बोल रहा है, इतना के लिए thank you बोल रहा है. But the point is, if you actually say thank you, it will take some time for your friends, or for your let's say teachers or family to get adjusted to it. But if you start saying this slowly, it gets into your subconscious, unintentionally. Slowly you actually feel thankful about everything. You say, okay, you did for me, thank you so much for doing it. But if you're not at all in a habit of saying thank you, you're not at all in a habit of appreciating others, subconsciously it doesn't come through. So I have found it very, very enlightening to understand the meaning. Initially I thought thank you is a very formal way of saying things, but that is not true. If you actually feel thankful, you feel much positive about yourself. Okay. So try to use please and thank you as much as you can. Don't use unnecessarily. Don't make it very superficial where it's not coming from inside, but it's just as a habit. I have seen such kind of people also, which when they say thank you, they actually don't mean anything. When they say please, they actually are not requesting. It doesn't mean anything, it's just a word. So we don't go down to that level also, where the word doesn't carry emotion, but you try to balance it out. Okay. And then just saying the word I understand is a very, very powerful way of connecting to people. Okay. Our main point of communication is not to force our ideas on others. Our point of communication is to discuss certain things, or to make sure we are able to tell what we want to say, or we are able to hear what the other person wants us to hear, right? So if you use the word I understand what you're saying, I understand your problems, it is actually a very, very powerful way of connecting with people. Okay. Many times I have seen in interviews, or even in general way, when you have to present something, if you just say I understand your question, maybe I don't know the answer right now, if you say like that, you'll be surprised, but people like it. They will say, wow, he or she is acknowledging that they understand the question, but they don't know the answer. Even if you don't know the answer, if you say I understand what you're trying to ask, but I don't know the answer, it's a very positive way of answering, rather than saying I don't know the answer. Right? In both the case, you don't know the answer, but how you speak will actually make impact in how other people will receive it. Okay. And one more word that you need to add in your vocabulary is I appreciate. So this is again, you're appreciating other people, right? So when somebody is doing something for you, you appreciate them. You say, I appreciate whatever you are doing for me, I appreciate your concern. So if you are not used to speaking in English, that's fine. Use it in your mother tongue, whatever you use, Hindi, Marwadi, whatever it is. You, for similar words, you can use in your mother tongue, and you can say thank you so much, you have really done so much for me, I really value it. Okay. So these few words, you don't have to change everything at a time. Just with few words here and there, you can actually drastically improve your ability to express ideas. You can improve the ability to hear out what other person is trying to say. Okay. So I want you all, because you all are, many of you are very young, I want you all to inculcate this in your daily routine. Not just like a concept, not just like a good to know. Inculcate in your daily routine, because here when I see people, everybody has a part of their habits. These all words are not very theoretical things, right? It's a very, very practical way of living, and it's also a very good way of growing up. Okay. So without complicating this, because I know there is a lot of gap between the students here. For many students, this may some concepts may be very basic, and some concepts may be very advanced. So I don't want to go into unnecessary technical details. I just want you to practically start using these things and see how automatically automatically your thinking process improves, automatically your ability to communicate improves. With time, you'll improve on language, you'll improve on grammar, you'll improve on other areas, how to express better. Okay. Next, praising. Like I said, appreciation is a very good way of communicating or saying somebody thank you, that okay, you have done something for me, I appreciate it. Because like I said, it's not necessary that everybody does everything for you, right? Hardly we have few people who will listen to us. First of all, there is not a lot of people who will listen to us. Second, even in them there are very few people who will do something for us. So if you are thankful to them, you don't have to constantly repeat thank you every single day, every single time. But every once in a while you say, hey, I appreciate everything that you're doing for me. You see that person will do even more for you if you are appreciative of them. Okay. And with praise, I've actually seen a very polar end in my professional career also, where I had people, no matter whatever we do, no matter how much good work we do, they are not able to praise others. They are stuck. Like, I was so surprised. There are actually people like that who are not able to praise others, and I find it very surprising. And I also see a pattern, they generally don't go well with the other people also. So many times what happens is you need to do something extraordinary to get very little praise. Okay, I've seen people like that. And I've also seen people who for small thing they praise so much. They say, wow, that's a very good way of looking at it, there is very good way of doing it, I really appreciate everything that you do, and they mean it. And I have seen the difference when working with such people and working with the people who are not so praiseworthy. Okay, so at some point of life, at some point in your life, you will lead the family, or you will be a leader in your group, you will be a leader in your organization. If you don't know about these things, you will not be able to become a good leader. You will not be able to motivate others. Okay, so the main thing is to keep praising other people whenever they do something good. And if they do something extraordinary, you have to praise them extraordinarily well. Okay, why? Because if you praise somebody who has done something well, it gives them even more energy to do it. Okay, and I've seen it personally when my boss, they used to appreciate me for every small innovation that I did. I thought, wow, this is such a positive way of this is such a positive culture. So I started innovating even more, I started thinking even more, wow, I need to do better, so that the other person is also very happy about it. Okay, for some reason it is not very well used in our societies, but that's okay, we can lead the change, there's no problem. So what you'll see is, if you start praising people, one good thing will happen is you'll automatically start looking for good things in people. Okay, and automatically you'll start saying, wow, this is a good initiative. And if the person has not done something great, it's fine, you don't have to praise in a great way, you just say, okay, well done, you have a good attempt, you can do much better, but I really appreciate you doing this. Okay, so try to use it with your friends, try to use it with your family, try to use it wherever you can. See, if somebody is doing something good, just tell them good job, or tell them well done. That's it. And you see how people will appreciate it. They will really like they'll really like hearing that, and also they will really be able to connect to you. Okay, and we see there's generally three type of people that we have, or three type of relationships in a very general way. We see some people are positive, so no matter what happens, they are always positive. They will always contribute in the conversation in a positive way. And I'm thankful, I know a lot of such people. And then there are some people who are negative. Negative meaning they will find what is not right in what we are doing. They'll find what is not correct, and they may just say that, okay, you know what, this is good, but you could do much better, you are actually not doing better. And they'll say this way of doing it. Once in a while it's okay, but if the person continuously does it, we know it's a habit. Nothing wrong, but we know the person has a certain way of looking at it. Okay, so it's their way of looking at it. And then we have some people who are neutral. So either way it's okay. You do something good, they praise. You don't do something good, they will not praise. They will say this is wrong, that is wrong. So we have many type of people like that. And I'm actually surprised to say the most impact that we have is not from a negative or neutral person. They may give us the ideas, they may motivate us to do better, but the most inspiration comes from people who are positive, because there's a reason for that. So what happens is, when you do something and let's say it's not that great, but still somebody says, hey, wow, it's great, it's a good start, you can do much better, you're aiming for 90%, no problem, you got 70%, that's all right. Next time you do better, and you can actually you can actually achieve it, right? Next time again you aim for it, next time you got, let's say, 60% only, you reduce. And the person say, okay, something went wrong, no problem, try it better, maybe the paper was tough, maybe you couldn't focus so much, try it next time. Next time you try, let's say you reach 75%, I'm just putting theoretically. Next time you reach 75%, the person says, okay, still you need to try a little harder, but well done, at least you improved by 10-15%. Now if such a person is there to there with you, who is communicating with you, you're constantly motivated, you won't feel like giving it up, you feel like, okay, I can do it, I can do it. But if the same scenario is there, but a person says, what, you aim for 90 and you just got 70, come on, this is too much of a gap. Or if a person says, wow, you got 70, next time you got 60, and then somebody can say, wow, you are just way off, you're not at all in the league, right? So how somebody else communicates to you is very, very important. But here's the thing, we can't control other people's communication, how they think, how they talk, we cannot control that. But what we can do is, we can control how we will communicate with others. Because you know the law of giving, right? What you give, you will get back. So if you praise others, automatically in life, such scenarios may come where other people will praise you. If you support others, somehow scenarios will come that you will also receive support. Okay, it's a law, it's not like it will happen it based on your mood, based on scenarios. It's a law, it will happen. It may take its own time. Don't say, okay, I praise other people, so other people also should praise me immediately. It may never happen, but some point it will give the results. Okay, so just want to say, if you get a chance to be in a leadership position anytime, and the best way to motivate, or best way to lead a team, lead your life, lead a family, lead thing, is to be positive. Try to be positive, try to look at it. If somebody has really messed it up in a big way, tell them, okay, this is not okay, you should do better. But again, don't just have that continuous frame of mind that, okay, you are not doing, you're not doing, you're not doing. Okay, something better. And like I said, in your praise also, it should be genuine. It should not come like a very exaggerated or very dishonest way. Like, you don't appreciate it, but you are outside just saying, okay, well done. You're not happy with that person, but you are saying, hey, you are doing great. Dishonesty is worse than not praising, for sure. So let's not do that. Let's not be exaggerated, like somebody has done very little and you praise them so much, and then what happens is that person's slowly they will start feeling they are great, everything they do is perfect, and then afterwards you will be in a problem. Okay, you did exaggeration. So slowly everything you say is exaggeration. Okay, we don't want that. We want it to be very balanced way of doing things, very balanced way of praising others also. Okay, but the key point is, if you are not appreciative in your life, which I was not. When I was studying, I was very happy, I was very easygoing, but I didn't knew that there is a way, like if we actually are appreciative of others, it's a very, very good way of building relationships. Okay, So if you're not appreciative, who is there to lose? We are only there at the loss, because we will only lose out on good relationships. We will only lose out on good friendships. We will only lose out on a good professional way, professional careers, or good professional contacts. Okay. And now we see a style of conviction. So this is, I think, a very, very key slide for you guys, especially as you are growing right now. So many people have different way of putting their points, right? Again, I have seen almost all of these people in one way or another, but there's different way. We very, very clear. Even in my friends circle, I have seen they have different people with a different way of putting things across. So one is a very forceful way of putting it. Forceful meaning you do it because I know it. I know it. I'm telling it, and you have to do it. It's a very forceful way. The person may be right, but it's generally forceful way. Unnecessary if the person starts speaking in such a way, we know the person's personality is a very forceful personality. He is somebody who's forcing on others, and other people may take it for some time, but in the long term they will not like it, because if you don't like to be forced, other people also won't like to be forced, right? But we see I have seen, it's very visible also in our circle. One is a very forceful way of putting the points across. Other is very adamant meaning, okay, even though you're telling me that okay, I'm wrong, but still I am very adamant that no, you're only wrong, I am only right. Okay, I've seen such type of people where it's um, very hard to tell them anything. It's very hard to convince them anything, because they are so stuck up with what's going on in their mind, or they are so stuck up with what they are all about, that they are not able to see other person's perspective. Okay, so adamant is a bit tricky, but most of the times we see such traits in people. So especially here, I have seen traits with some of my colleagues who were so adamant at some point of time. It's either their way or my way. So either they do what they want, or I do what I want, and slowly the relationship breaks down if there's a lot of adamant attitude. Okay, and they are very when they express something, they are very clear that their point of view is only right, other point of view is not so right. Okay, or they're adamant about some points. Okay, and third is a timid way of conviction, and this is the way which people with less self-confidence uh, use. They are not convinced about it themselves, they are not clear about it themselves, and they try to convince others. And that is a very, very weak way of convincing others. Especially you will see in Viva, where you don't know the answer, and then you will go around it, go around it, go around it, and then you say, okay, this is it, this is it. So there's no way the front person will be convinced if you're expressing it in a way that is not so clear. Okay, I've seen again a very, very common way. So there's timid way. People with low self-confidence, people with not so much clarity, or they don't know about it, they just are talking about it. They will not be able to convince. That is the third way. And fourth is the debatable. So, for example, um, let's say there's a scenario of watching a movie, right? So one person, if it's a forceful, will say, "I want to watch a movie." That's it. Okay. So no matter if my exam is there, that's secondary. I want to watch a movie. An adamant person will say, "Why should I not watch a movie?" Right? I want to watch it. If somebody says, "No, this is not good for you. Your exams are going on." No, but I want to watch it. It's my choice, right? That's they are just adamant about it. And third is a timid way where they say, "Maybe I want to watch a movie." A person is itself is not sure, should I or should I not, right? And debatable is, I want to watch a movie, and then if again front person says, no, it's not good, they say, you'll start debating why it's good to watch a movie. They'll say why it's actually much better that I watch a movie than not watch, then study, right? So again, it goes into debatable personality. You will see all types of people around, and then there is last one more personality. Again, these are all I made up. Okay, this is not like a perfect fact. This is not like the final list of types of people. I just made it for simple way of explaining. And fifth is a trustworthy way of conviction, which means the person knows what is doing, the person knows what is talking about, the person has an idea of what to do, and the person says, okay, I want to watch a movie. And other people also say, okay, fine, you want to watch a movie, because you must be thinking something to watch a movie. And if you have exam, maybe you know everything, that's why you're watching a movie. Or if you're watching a movie, maybe you have time later to cover up to watch a movie. In any case, for trustworthy person, it's a very assured way of doing. It's not forceful, it's not like a compulsory. They say, I would like to watch a movie. And then if the other person says, no, no, it's not good to watch a movie, the person is at least open to an idea of thinking, okay, maybe should I give a second thought or not. Okay, so this is a way simple, with a simple sentence I wanted to say what are the different ways people would put a simple action of watching a movie, how they will put it across, will show what is the style of conviction. Okay, now again, every time everybody is not of one type, every time everybody is not of one nature. With everybody, with different people, they'll have different nature, but majoritarily how you communicate, we can, based on that, we can see, or we can categorize, okay, you are that type of person where I have to deal with you in a certain way. Okay, and okay, we have a little running short of time, but I think we should be done. But let's say during a conversation, this is again a very important skill. You guys have to pick it up, or maybe you already have it. It's very important skill, especially in your growing years, because after certain years you know things and it's much easier, you understand world better. But while you're growing up, there is different type of putting your points across. Again, while conversing with somebody, while talking to somebody, while talking to your friends, your teachers, your family, whoever it is, if there's some discussion points, I've seen that personally. There are different type of people. One is, I am a right person, so whatever I'm saying is the truth, whatever I'm saying is the correct thing, what you're saying is not so correct thing. Okay, so this is again majoritarily what you're doing. Okay, it's not like it's a wrong thing or bad thing, it's just you're the type of person. Okay, and second is, you're right person, meaning whatever I am telling is, I'm actually not sure about it, I don't even know what I'm talking. So if you bring something better for me, I'll say, yeah, you're right, what I was thinking was not right. Okay, again, we see it's like a mix of a timid personality and a very flexible personality who says, okay, fine, I'm okay, whatever you're saying is right. Okay, and during a conversation, we also see a people where they say, we both are right, you are also right and I am also right, you are right in your own way, I am right in my own way. Again, we can see a hint of adamant nature here, we can see a hint of I would say a hint of which nature we have, a hint of debatable nature. We says, yes, we both are right, neither am I wrong, but I don't want to offend you, so you are also not wrong. Okay, again, this is a way of putting across. And fourth way is, none of us are right, you know what, let's do a middle ground, neither yours, neither mine. We both are not right. The truth is something else. Okay. I was surprised, but I actually met such type of peoples where it's very hard for them to accept other person is right, and it's very hard for them to accept, okay, they are not right, maybe. Okay. So during a simple conversation, if we see such type of behavior, we know, okay, how the person is trying to think about it, why it's the person is saying what they are saying, and how they are saying, why a simple thing can become a debate, why a simple thing can be a very easy thing. We understand based on based on this, we can understand how the person is thinking in their life. Okay, and there's another one more category which I put very loosely, which says it doesn't matter who's right. The main point is what is to be done, right? Let's say I say I want to watch a movie. You say, no, it's not good to watch a movie. So now based on that, we can say, okay, so what we have to do? Let's say it's not good to watch a movie, but still, do we go or do we not go, right? So it's more, fifth person is a type of person which says it doesn't matter who is right. The point is, what to be done, or we have to do something, we have to take some action. It's not always about right or wrong. Sometimes it is little complex, it is bigger than what is right, what is wrong. Okay, so we see different type of people. I want you all to think about people in your life, and see, okay, maybe if a person is a type of person where they say, okay, I am a right person, you have to deal with them in a particular way. Okay, so now if you do deal with them in a way which they are not used to, you can't change everybody across. You can't go and say, wait a minute, you are doing wrong, this is not what you do. You don't go and say, okay, wait a minute, this is wrong way, this is not correct way of doing it, you are actually making mistake, you should do like this. You will become isolated very quickly. Quickly your friends will say, wait a minute, he is becoming too much for us, he started preaching us, he was with us and now he started preaching me. So we don't want that. All I'm saying is, based on how a person reacts, you can deal with them in that particular way and say, okay, wait, this person is more like this, so I better approach to him in a certain way. Okay, again, there is no rules, there is no particular things do you have to do, but at least understanding will give you a kind of clarity. Okay, and I think maybe last second slide is this, speaking well. So till now we saw, okay, this is what different type of persons are, this is how different type of words you can use, this is how different type of personalities people will have. But let's say it comes to you, and this is something which I really learned in the later stages of my life. In this, let's say if somebody is upset, if you say, what's wrong with you, that's a very common phrase that I heard when I was growing up. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You don't look okay. What's wrong with you? You look very tired. What's wrong? It's a very, very incorrect way of putting it. Rather than that, if you say, what happened to you, it's a much better way of starting a conversation. It is much better way of asking somebody what happened, rather than saying something is wrong with you. If you say kya hua or what happened, that's much better. Okay, so in general way we see both as the same, but in reality they are not at all the same. Okay, as you grow you'll realize the importance of such things. Another thing is, you're not okay, what happened, rather than that, if you say, are you okay, you don't look well, are you okay, that is, first one is a statement. You are deciding, you are judging, and you are passing on the judgment. It has nothing to do with how the other person is feeling. You're just seeing something, you are evaluated, and you're saying, okay, you're not okay, and I know you're not okay. Okay, it doesn't really give depth in the person's care and concern. If you rather ask, are you okay, same thing, I'm saying you're not okay, but I'm just asking, are you okay or not, that will give a better sense of care and concerns in the relationships. Okay, many times I've seen communication is not about knowing big words, it's not about knowing good English, it's not about knowing perfect grammar and way of speaking Hindi or whatever it is. It's mostly about how you care. Okay, that's why I just gave a simple examples. Let's say for girls, especially to girls, if you say you look beautiful, it's much bigger compliment, I'm sure girls will agree, than saying your dress is beautiful, because you are not appreciating the person, you are just appreciating the dress. But in first case, you're appreciating the person, the dress is beautiful, the dress only added beauty, but you are appreciating more of the person. Small things, but it has bigger impact in how other people will see you, how you will actually see others, right? So it's all about thinking better. Yesterday I told you, it's communication is actually about thinking better and then expressing better. So if we think about all the such things better, that's when we can express better. As a rule, you cannot always have rules. Okay, I should speak this, I should do this, I should do this. So many rules if you have, you'll be overburdened. We don't want that. You start thinking about it better. Okay, and remember always, somehow people will get, they will get subconsciously, they may not tell you, they may not express, they may not you may not tell, there's no conversation explicitly between both of you, but they will get it, how much level of care you have for them, how much concern you have, how much love you have for them. They will get it. And because automatically when you care for somebody, you will start speaking like what happened to you, rather than saying what's wrong with you. You'll start asking, are you okay, rather than saying you're not okay, right? So subconsciously people will get it. So our whole point is to speak better so that we can have better relationships with different type of people. Okay, and this is, I think, the final slide I want to conclude communication skills module says this, because if you want to know about words, grammar, how to speak better, how to use tone, pitch, there are a lot of YouTube videos, there are a lot of books. It's actually not about not knowing it, it's just using it. You're just using language to express better, but the core of communication is not there. The core of communication is actually in the invisible world. Like I told you, I think few classes earlier, it's actually invisible world that is driving the visible world, right? So that is, like I told, your thoughts, your perspective, your ambitions, those are the things that drive what you do, right? Same way in communication also, if you see the whole perspective of this, is very simple. All you do is this: first is improve your thoughts, right? Improve the way you are thinking about scenarios, improve on what how you could look at it better. It's a work in progress. There's not one day you'll say, okay, I know everything, but it's a work in progress. But you improve it inside. Again, nobody can say this. You also can't see this. It's just an invisible thing. Second, you improve your perspective. Like how I said, if a glass is half full versus half empty, you look at the half which is full and say, okay, it's half full, right? And don't always focus on what's missing in your life. You also have to focus what you have in your life. Okay, so improve your perspective, improve your perspective about surrounding scenarios. You will make mistakes, you will learn from it, all that is fine, but keep on add in your perspective. Okay, don't degrade it or don't let it go without any proper inputs there. Okay, and third, talk to yourself better, because if you don't talk to yourself better, there is no way you can talk to other person better. We have seen it day before yesterday. If I am not at all positive about myself, how can I be positive about other people? How can I be positive about what's happening to me, what you are doing, what somebody else is doing? I won't be positive, because about myself only I'm not so positive. From inside only I won't feel positive about the world. Okay, so talk to yourself better. Don't demotivate yourself, encourage yourself, and feel good about yourself. So all of these things are invisible, nobody can see it. The impact, nobody can understand it also, because so far you are just, all of these things is within you, you're not at all opened your mouth. So far you're just thinking internally. The fourth step is talk to others better. If you do the first three things correctly, the fourth will come automatically. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to actually do anything. You don't have to know big words. You don't have to know a proper way of doing. You don't have to be very formal. You don't have to be very traditional. You don't have to be a very superficial, that okay, I'm just trying to do something. I'm not happy, but I'm showing I'm happy with you. You don't have to do all of such things if you work on the first three things. Okay, and once you work on the first three things, automatically fourth will come, and once you do fourth consistently, that's it. You have reached a stage where now you are able to communicate better, people are able to hear to you better, and people are able to relate to you, you are able to relate to people, and you're able to grow together. Okay, and once you reach that stage, then it's just adding more and more and more. Okay, improve. The improvement stage is no final stage. It always means it's a work in progress, but at least you have a base where you are able to make friends, you are able to get into different projects, you're able to get along with different people, you're able to get along with different challenging scenarios. Okay, so for all these things, we need people. We alone can't do anything, right? We need people. We need to work with them. We need to collaborate with them. We need to share our joy with them, share our time with them. So for all of this, I think the core I have just presented to you in this class. But apart from this, if there is anything that you would like me to cover, you want me to uh, dwell more upon in within the communication, just let me know, and maybe in the next week I'll probably spend a little bit time on that. Okay, so that's all I have to present about communication skills. Like I said, it's not about, we don't go by textbook approach in life. Okay, life is a very dynamic thing. We want to be dynamic. We don't want to have a very textbook way of looking past tense, present tense, assertive, non-assertive way, this way, that. All of these textbook things, let us not get stuck with that. Let us actually be practical in our approach, practically what we need to do, practically what we need to think about, so that we can improve it in a fast way and in an effective way, right? If by force you do, if just if you try to do, you improve your communication skills just for your job, or just for able to impress others, or just for presentation, that is not the real aim of communication. Real aim of communication is to live a better life, because the better you communicate, the better you will live, and the better other people around you will also live. Okay, so that's all I have to present, guys. I think we are right on time, maybe 5 minutes late. So any question, guys? I told I want everybody to ask at least one question.
Yes, I have a question here.
Sure.
Well, thank you so much for such a detailed explanation.
Mhm.
Well, many times I have observed that when my intention is of saying it in a friendly way, like when I joke sometimes and have some fun talking to my friends, sometimes they get offended with the joke, though I do not intend to.
Okay.
And this happened more often than I expected.
Okay.
So just wanted to understand like what needs to be changed from my end so that my intention of uh, having that as a joke goes across to the person I'm speaking to.
Okay. I think that's a very deep question, because now we have a lot of things in the mix. First thing I would say is, when we are trying to joke, the humor should be very non-personal. It should not be offensive. And maybe your aim is totally to be totally non-offensive. You're just saying, you're just having good time. But important thing to understand is, people are not always in a frame of mind where they are always happy. They're always in a joking mode. What happens is, we may be happy internally. We are always high on the life, but other people may be in a problem. They may be thinking about their career. They may be thinking about some problem. We don't know, right? We don't know what's going on in their mind. They are thinking about something. When at that time, if we start joking, the other person will clearly be turned off by that. The person may be very upset, or the person may take out his or her frustration on you, and you will feel, okay, it's my joke that has caused the problem. But that's not the case. The person doesn't like to be first of all talked about, maybe, or the person is already under some kind of stress, where they just take it out on you. Okay, and just
Uh,
because everybody feels normal, they look normal, doesn't mean they are normal. Okay, like I'm saying, communication is mind to mind. It's not what you say is what they hear. What you say may be completely friendly way, what they hear may be totally threatening. We have seen it many times. I have seen it a lot of times, in family, in friends, in relatives, everywhere. It's not how you put it. It's not what you want to say is always what will be carried forward. Okay, that is
mhm.
one thing we need to take care about. It's that it's not always in our control. Other person may be in some frame of mind. But the second thing is, we have to also understand, maybe the person doesn't like that much to be joked about. Maybe the joke was actually, the person was normal, but the joke actually offended them, right? So in such cases, all we do is we just say, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to say that, it's all right. And then we take a look. Okay, maybe I should have not used such word, maybe I could have used such word. Okay, so it's a balance of both. But again, I think the best way out of this is to actually have a core group of people, maybe one, two, three, whoever it is, who they know you, you know them, and you are much comfortable joking around, because they know you don't mean any, that you don't mean to threaten them, and
Mhm.
you also know if you joke something, they'll take it in a proper way.
Got
Okay.
it. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good question. Who will ask next? We have a very small group today. So you want me to pick names? Let me ask
Hello,
Shruti. Yeah.
Bhaiya.
Hi.
So I actually got my answer just now what Devesh asked or Devesh Bhaiya asked, that I
Mhm.
was going to ask you the same thing, that people easily get offended. Means I have a small group of people with me, but some they understand me. But sometimes when we meet new people, or when we have met like my classmates, not friends, so they sometimes get very easily offended and all. So I was going to ask that where should we look at our communication, or where we go wrong when we talk to them or when we talk to new people. So I got my answer right now.
Okay, that's very surprising that you are saying something in a fun way. You are saying to have fun. You are saying in a very light tone, and the other person is getting serious about it, or they don't take it so
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
That's actually
So
surprising to me because in my life I haven't faced such a lot of scenarios. I have faced it, but not so much that it would affect me. I know, okay, if 2 3 times I joke with a person, the person doesn't get it. I know, okay, maybe the person doesn't like me, or the person doesn't like to be joked around, and slowly, automatically, we start keeping a distance, and that's the end of it. There is the end of the story. There is the end of the problem, and we know, okay, that person is like that, or
yeah,
maybe.
this is what I do.
Hmm. Go ahead, Shruti.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So I was saying, you said no, that we the end of the story. So when we get to know that person, that person can get offended very easily,
Hmm.
the story ends there itself.
Yeah, because there's a point, right? Everybody has limited time. We don't have unlimited time. We have very limited time, and in that also, there's only very limited time when we are having some time to think about other person. We are having some time to actually think about something apart from what we are doing. In that also, if somebody gets offended, you have to understand maybe that person is not wrong or bad person. He's just in his own space, and many people don't like to be disturbed when they are in their own personal space. So just take it
Hmm.
easy and think, okay, that's fine. Maybe when time comes, right time comes, you will understand him or her better, and you will get along better.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. All right.